Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream today for Mozart new product called the Slypod Pro. I'm here with two of my guests, and I would like to ask them to introduce themselves. First thing first, I'm Johnny. You can just see my hashtag there and then for information who I am. I'm just a filmmaker here in Cleveland, Ohio. So we have Karim and Austen. Karim, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, nice. Hello, everybody. My name is Karim. I'm based in France, but I'm a French filmmaker, French music video director, especially in California. I did so many music video in LA, Compton, Oakland, all the West Coast, and also I'm Mozart ambassador.
Cool. And how about you, Austen? Welcome and thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. My name is Austen Paul. I do product filmmaking. I do a lot of tutorials on YouTube and have my own course on teaching people how to do product videos and start from pretty much nothing to everything and using household items and things like that. And then obviously now using the Moza Pro for some of my product films. So yeah.
Great. Thanks for being here. So obviously, we are the few people who actually got the Slypod Pro, which is a new monopod slider, motorized slider that you can get. It should be available pretty soon. We'll let you know the information shortly. So let's talk about usability. Karim, what do you feel about the Slypod Pro?
Let's go. About the Slypod Pro, I had the first version. I use just a little bit, because my main job is a music video, and I use every time my camera with my hand or gimbal. But with the Slypod Pro, I felt very strong. The quality is very good, carbon fiber, and good thing, add this tripod. You can see I can use it every time with my camera. I can drop my camera directly. I can use my camera on my hand. On the first version, I remember I have just 1 month. On this version, on the Pro, I have 2 months. I can use the Slypod Pro with 2 tripod, and I think it's a good idea because I can have a good line, straight line. Also, I have my Arca Swiss mount. It's very quick to use. I can use all the angle like this, you can see. And let's show you the motor. You can see I can use mini speed. Just like I said, for my job, I never use a Slypod or slider or traveling, because I need to have a quickly shooting. But now with this Slypod, I will add some footage with the Slypod to have a good B-roll. Just like this on the street, I can make a traveling. I can make a time lapse. I can make everything with the Slypod. This is my tools.
Excellent. So what about for you, Austen? How do you use the Slypod Pro?
Yeah, so I mean, my whole perspective with using the Slypod Pro is probably a little bit different. I mean, I work with sliders all the time, tons of different types of sliders doing product filmmaking, because most of the time you're either going to be on sticks, you're going to be on a tripod, or you're going to be on a slider with product filmmaking. And what I like about it and what I've noticed that you can do with the Slypod Pro comparatively to other sliders, and not per se replace the slider completely, but there's very unique aspects with it in the fact that what you can do is, for example, say if you wanted to get a very long probe lens shot, but the problem is usually when you're working with tabletops, the slider will run into the table eventually. With the Slypod Pro, the way that you mount it and that it extends off of itself like that, it actually, and the way that you can point the camera down like this or like that, you can actually fit it into tight spaces for very unique shots without ever getting stopped by your tabletop, which I think is very cool. So you have so much more length that you can play with and then push across your table. And not only that, you can mount at very unique and different angles that you couldn't do with sliders because they're far too heavy. But then also what I really like about it is I've been able to use it not only for mounting the camera, but really thinking about how I can use this in product filmmaking, because I've used product launchers before, like a pneumatic rod. And while it doesn't shoot up that fast, but you can use it for mounting products to the Slypod Pro itself and sliding them in, sliding them out, rising them up out of the table. Or you can use it for things like I did with the Oreo thing where I was messing around with it, where I can drop, the product in very steadily or squish two products together and do very unique things that, like not only use it for camera use, but also use it for products. So I think that's really cool. And I thought it was like a perfect thing because using your hand and string is not always steady enough, and being able to use something that is motorized like that to make those movements for you is super nice, because every little detail matters. And when you're shooting macro like that, any handshake is going to ruin anything, and that's just so much steadier. So
Totally. So I'm going to show the video you just talked about, since you talked about the Oreo cookies. And we have the video here. I'm going to play back here first, and they can talk a little bit more how you put this together, right?
Yeah.
That's a really, really cool way to put it together. I actually like that. It's very creative.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, how long did it take you to set it? I know that you have 3 Slypod going on at the same time?
Two Slypods. And so for the Oreo one, that took a little bit longer because, not to get too crazy into product filmmaking, but each different type of food and stuff like that has a different consistency, and what you can glue, you have to use different types of glues. And so it took us a little bit of time to figure out how to glue a stick to the Oreos itself, because if you don't have the right kind of glue or tape, it will fall off because if it crumbles and stuff like that. So each food is different. But what we did is I took the Slypod and I gaff taped it to that bar back there that you can see running across behind my head. And then I took another Slypod and I put it on the ground. And then we took just these 8mm rods and screwed them in because they fit perfectly right onto the tripod plate head, and then put a skewer inside there. And then from there, we just hot glued the Oreos on both sides, scraped off the filling because Oreos don't really have that kind of squishy filling. And we replaced it with toothpaste, as you could see in the first shot. And then the second shot, I've been always wanting to build a 360 rig, and I figured an easier way that was accessible for people is to just use your C-stand, and just super gluing a bolt to the top of your C-stand allows you to have a very similar 360 rig. And then I wanted to kind of recreate, I'm not sure if a lot of people have seen this if you're into product filmmaking, but Steve Geralt has this very high-end rig where he drops, I think it's ice into an alcoholic drink, but they're using a Phantom camera. And obviously I'm just using a regular camera that only shoots at 120 frames. So dropping something wouldn't slow down enough. So being able to use the Slypod Pro to have the Oreo slowly drop in so it looks like it's slow motion when it's really not. So we're faking the slow motion by slowly lowering it, and then going from speed ramping and then going to 120 frames where it looks like it's actually falling in slow motion and freezing in time as we're spinning around. So it was kind of unique to use it in that kind of way. And I thought it was kind of cool because it kind of allows you to cheat and not have to buy an $80,000 camera, right, to capture that slow motion shot. So
exactly. So one of the users on Facebook, we don't know who it is, but he asked this question: what comes with the Mozart with Slypod Pro? So Karim, you want to answer that?
What come with the Mozart Slypod Pro? About the accessory?
Yeah, everything that comes with the bag.
Okay, wait a minute. I have many accessories like a cable for each camera, like Panasonic, Sony, Fuji. Also, I can use my Fuji X-T3 for especially for the time lapse. I have a Arca Swiss plate and the USB-C cable to charge the Slypod. And the protection bag.
Yeah.
I can carry the Slypod everywhere very quickly. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple more questions here. Let me see. I can. Let's see. There we go. There's one here. How about the driving sound? Also, what the load capacity when shooting horizontally? Anybody want to answer that? Austen or Karim?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 4 kilo.
I think the capacity for horizontal is
I was able to mount my Ursa Pro G2 to it.
horizontally.
Yeah, horizontally, not vertically. I think once I put a cage on my 1DX and had a monitor on there, it would be able. It was able to lift, but it won't stay going vertically. Okay. Like it'll slowly start to lower again, but horizontally, my Ursa Pro, which is about, I have it right here. I don't know. So 1 second.
So we can say maybe about 7 to 9 pounds, right?
Yeah, this is pretty heavy. So right. I mean, and this worked on it going across. As long as you have good counterweight sandbags on your tripod, you should be fine. And you have a good tripod. Don't put it on obviously a cheaper tripod, but yeah. So that it definitely held for that, and it was able to slide back and forth perfectly fine. So.
And what about the driving sound compared to Slypod E or previous Slypod?
It's pretty quiet in my mind. I mean, it's not something that I had to worry about too much because most of the time I'm not taking any audio from my shots. But I mean, I was relatively surprised how quiet it was. So
right. Okay, now I hear from Monica. She has the original one, which is a Slypod original carbon fiber. Is the one over there right now. You're seeing with the camera. It does have some play on the inner and outer tube. How is the new one? That's a very good question. Do you guys feel any play when you guys moving around with it?
I didn't really notice anything too much play. The only thing I would say that I noticed is with the tripod base bottom, it kind of moves a little bit if you don't hold it steady. That's what I picked up on. But the actual extension between the two tubes, I didn't notice any play really from it.
Yeah, there's no play. I'm forcing it right now. Yep. I'm forcing it right now. There's no play. So it's actually better. It had a similar, like the Slypod E. Slypod E does not have play either. The first Slypod, unfortunately, was the first one. And obviously, with any product, the first one usually has some quirk and issues. So when you get a second one, the third batch, which is the Slypod Pro, you're definitely going to see a better thing coming and such. We got more questions here. Let's see what. How much a circular play is it? Anybody else know the answer for that?
Circular play? I don't know.
Neither do I. All right. This is a good question. So then there's a question whether you can work with Zillion Crane Lab or Canon 5D Mark IV. So the Slypod can work with anything, and as far as I remember, you can use any gimbal with it. Whether or not you can control the gimbal with the Slypod is a different story. But you can attach. The other thing about imagine Slypod is a jib, monopod, or a slider, and then you can just attach anything you want onto it and make it work. Now with the Aircross 2 from Mota, you can actually do synchronization, which means that you can link between the Aircross 2 with the Slypod, and you can do four axis different movements. So the 3 axis from the Aircross 2 plus the slider motion of up and down, left and right, will be the 4 axis. So that can be done.
Motion control.
Yeah. I attached the Aircross 2 and a 5D Mark IV, and it worked fine, like weight wise and all that. but I do know the Zion crane is heavier. I never did attach that, but I do know that, I mean, at least 5D and a stabilizer does work on there fine.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely should be able to make it work. This is a comment for you, Austen.
oh yeah, thumbs up.
There you go. Let's see. Oh, hey, this is from Mozambique. I don't even know how to say that.
Mozambique.
So we have this user doing the study. Will build up the we now to get 2 mounting points. Yes, the 2 mounting points are being useful. Have anyone you guys used it for using as a jib?
I mean, just more like an angled slider more than a jib itself. So not 100% like that. I mean, like I said, I mean, the closest thing I had was pushing the Oreos at like steeper angles and then also using it just as a slider in like landscape shots and stuff like that, but not as a jib itself. So no.
Yeah, cool. And what for you, Karim? Have you tried it as a jib yet?
No, never, because I'm waiting about the Aircross 2 to have all my axes.
Gotcha. The retail price for this is $5.99, but there will be a Kickstarter campaign starting on April 13th, and the price is actually cheaper than that. You can save about $140 and more. So definitely go to the Gotson.com and make sure that you sign up for now. There is something called the super early bird, which you put a $1 deposit, and then you're locked down for the early bird pricing of the $459, as long as they have enough product for it. So just make sure that you know that, and then check it out. And that's information that I know about pricing wise. I didn't know we do have more questions. Here you go, another question. That's a good one too. Is it waterproof?
Oh yeah, are you asking? I didn't put it in the water, so I don't know.
So I can tell you that it is weatherproof, which means that if you're outside in a windy environment or very sandy area, or have a light rain, it works. But if you're going to say super rainy days, you're not going to make it work just because your camera is not waterproof. So it's not going to make a difference, right? If your camera is not waterproof, it's not going to do anything. Well, I'd say if you use a GF5 or with a lens and stuff like that. But if you're using Sony, Canon, it may not going to be able to work either because of weather. So just to keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I did that shot where it's going through at the Golden Gate Bridge through those chain link fence. I do remember that we actually had a pretty big wave splash onto the whole thing and still worked fine. I mean, and it was covered in salt too. It still works fine. So yeah. I mean, weather resistant. So
yeah. So we have also this question: can you turn off the LED lights for night shots?
Can you?
Actually, I think you can.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah. Inside the app, you can do it.
Even if you couldn't, I don't think the LED light's bright enough that it really affects anything that you'd pick up in the camera.
You can change the lights, the color.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Karim. I don't know what's up with that. Let's see more time. So Monica, we are answering people's question. It's just that there's a lot of comments going on through, and sometimes take about 10 to 20 seconds before I can actually see them. So bear with us a little bit, and we definitely answer all the questions we can. We do have another 30 minutes for that. But before I go that far, I'm going to show the video that Karim put together. Nice to go to a little video. That's pretty cool. So,
thank you very much.
Did you use the app to change the color of the ring?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he knows. Show off.
One by one.
That's pretty cool. All right, we got more questions. So I'm gonna have everybody ask questions and I'm gonna do our best to answer them. How fast is the motor and what's the maximum length? How fast? That's a very good question. The length here is this one is 150 millimeters, 120 millimeters. And I don't know the speed, but it does cut really fast.
Yeah, just like this.
Yeah. I'm gonna see how they do it. This is the fastest speed.
Yeah, it's very fast.
I'm gonna go back, look back again. So,
But I think the better way to use the Slypods is very slowly.
yeah, I don't think noise is an issue. Have any of you guys have problem with the noise at all?
No.
Because I know for a fact any motorized slider make noise, so
Yeah.
that shouldn't be anything that hit away. All right, this is probably for Austen. This gentleman wants to know a good tripod to handle this new Slypod Pro.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, I mean, it depends on how much you want to spend on a tripod. I mean, there's so many different tripods that you can use, right? The one that I've been using actually for this, and I really like for a really great price, is by iFootage. I was using one of their Gazelle tripods or Komodo tripods, and the thing, I mean, it's only like $250 for that price. Usually you can't get that sturdy of a tripod, and it holds quite a bit of weight, and you can hang sandbags from it as well. And so that's what I've been using for my tripod to mount it, and just easy because it still has a flat, half ball. You can place any slider or hose of product on top of it. So
yeah, great, thank you. So Karim, you might know this more. Bernard's question about whether to shoot move in time-lapse mode.
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do know this. If you can control, if you had a cable for it to go control the camera, like the Canon camera, Nikon camera, I'm not sure which Sony camera they have, you can actually do the move to move. So basically, you use the app to control the motion and the time lapse, and also set out the camera to do certain type of tape snapping a picture. It doesn't work 100% perfectly right now because they still need to update the app, but it's a possibility at this point because we just tested with the original Slypod. We actually can move up and down the Slypod, and we can actually take pictures while moving up and down. So that's potentially yes. This question from Toshi: can you be used with A7S III? It should not have any problem with what camera you use, just because it's just camera. You just have, if you want to use the camera if you want to control the camera with the app also, then you need to use a cable. And I'm not sure about A7S III because that's a new camera that came out last year. Yeah, last year. So it's a little bit more. They need to wait for more information to be able to do the engineer part for it. All right, so here's a circular plate, mount a phone on a spiral level app to see how much it integrates moves by itself. I don't see that. I think this is yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you're moving back and forth, it doesn't move around, right? So there's no. I did not see that problem with this one, the new one or the Slypod E. I didn't remember seeing that problem with the Slypod, the original version, but not the Slypod E or the Slypod Pro. So that's me.
yeah, I didn't notice it at all. And I mean, I was doing a lot of macro shots as well. So as long as you have it tightened down, I don't see it doing any of that because I mean, the head's adjustable. So I mean, I know if you don't have it tightened down, the head can go like this. But which is also cool too, because if you have it and you have steady hands, you can loosen that, and then you can kind of barrel roll it as you're moving with the slider and get some unique shots. I think that's always really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So, whether Karim or Austen, you guys want to answer this one? Maximum severity stable, how much by weight? I guess you're talking about how much you can put on the Slypod Pro then.
While it stays stable. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I use my Ursa Pro G2 on it. I mean, you could tell a little bit because I mean, it is just a pole extending, right? That I mean, eventually going full extension, it does bob a little bit, but that's more because you have to put a counterweight on the back, but it would hold that. The motors were fine with that. But I mean, really, I didn't notice anything like on any like DSLR or mirrorless camera of anything that like it was pretty stable with everything that I did. So, I mean, depending on what you're mounting, any slider is going to have a little bit of play in it, no matter what, if you have some kind of head that's attached to it. I mean, if you have it mounted straight on there, then you're not going to, but I mean, there's going to be play in any slider that you use. So
Cool. Here's another question. Anybody else, Karim or Austen, you can answer this. So is there any speed control?
The speed control, okay, no problem. I can show you. You have many speed. You can have really fast or
On the
like
Slypod,
this.
you have 2 buttons for plus and minus, so you can actually increase the speed or lower the speed. Right. And then there's an app too that you can use, right?
Or very slowly like this.
Yeah, that's slow.
Yeah, very slow. Yeah. I can add the speed with the button. I think we have 8 speed. It's right?
yeah, I mean, with the app, you can go pretty much any speeds you want to, right? I don't know if it just has percentages, right?
Yeah, a percentage. Yeah.
And you can use it directly with the app.
But the sound is actually quieter than the Slypod E. I just tried it out, and the sound is actually less.
You can set up the distance, the speed. You can also have in and out span. I love the application because it is very quickly for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
So
you have the battery level, you have everything.
You can control the speed through the app. You can also use this to control the speed. This is a hand unit controller that you can get for the Slypod. I had the word Slypod on it because I coupled those for follow focus, and I want to make sure that I don't confuse which I have because they don't look the same. So you can use it to control how fast or slow you want to move, or you can actually press up and down button here to go how fast or slow you want to go. So this is also available as an optional feature.
This is the same remote for the follow focus?
No, it's not. It's different firmware.
Oh, okay.
They look the same. So
exactly.
Just don't try it until
I thought it was for the follow focus.
Yeah, it's not for the follow focus.
Oh, okay, nice.
Let's see here. We have a lot more. There's a whole bunch of questions, so I'm gonna try my best to flow through them. Okay, so this is the easy one. So I heard a lot about Sony Canon cameras. Well, how it is with Nikon. There is a cable that you can use with a Nikon camera, so you can control the Slypod and the camera at the same time. And I think Karim have the bag of for the Canon one, right?
This is for Sony.
Okay.
I have for Canon. Maybe I have for Nikon, but what the connection? What is the connection for the Nikon?
Nikon.
USB-C? Nikon.
It's an N2 or N3. There's a in the back say N2 or N3.
I think I had the cords too. Let me see. I can check.
Yeah, because I lost my bag. I just have the cord.
Gotcha. But there should be a bag for that too.
Let's see.
But the good news is I can use.
See? So you said.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's an N2. That's an S2, right? That's I think for Sony.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
That's
said.
the Sony one.
Let's see. Canon, Nikon. Yeah, it's right here.
Yep.
Nikon.
There you go. That's a Nikon one. So remember, like I mentioned earlier, is the capability of using the cable with the camera is not 100% perfect, but it's something that's still working on to make sure that once they update the software, it can make it work. Karim had this question, and I think this is something else that you can answer because I think you talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm. Do you test the setup like this? First from head mount as tripod mount, second mount as counterweight mount. So I found it better to use. I mean, just for me personally, that I mounted it straight to the tripod instead of did a plate and then the tripod. I mean, onto the head. I mean, yeah, you have a little bit more control of the angles that you want to do. It just really depends on the tripod you're using. Like I said, I mean, I'm using the iFootage tripod, and I always find it just sturdier just to mount it straight onto the tripod instead of putting a plate and then mounting it to the head if you can. It just depends on the tripod you're working with. But it's all, I mean, with anything with counterweights, the more, I mean, with physics, the more you stack up, you know, and the more you have play, like with the tripod that you're using. And if you put a head that's more play, which will just cause more instead of mounting it straight onto the legs itself. So right. I think that's what they're asking, right? So
yeah, and charging time.
Oh, I don't know. I charge pretty fast. I wasn't timing it. But
neither did I. I think within about less than an hour, it got charged. And here's another thing. No, we didn't talk about it. Is you can have a power bank plug into the USB-C here, and you can continue charging and using it while you're on remote. So you don't have to worry about battery life runs out. I know the Slypod E can last about 3 hours. So this have a thicker neck area. So that's mean that the batteries actually should be probably larger. You can see the difference here. You know, thinner and thicker. So which means that it can last a bit longer than 3 hours. And that also means that you definitely can stay a bit longer, and then with an external power bank, it lasts forever. You can just use until the power bank run out of the juice. And yeah, John also mentioned about Slypod is easier to carry with you in the backpack. Oh, definitely for sure, it's easy to carry around. It's light too, so that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed comparatively to, you know, using a slider, because sliders are pretty heavy, this is a lot lighter, and you can literally just, if you have a camera bag, you can just slap it on the side and put the straps on and just carry it. I mean, that's what we did when we were shooting outside, which is nice. And even having your tripod legs on the other side, if you want to bring your tripod out for outdoor shooting, you know, to get time lapses or anything like that, it was like, I was like, this is really convenient. Honestly, I thought that's what I was thinking in my head when I was using it. I was like, this is so much nicer than having to haul around a heavy slider. So
yeah, what about for you, Karim?
Yeah, for me it's very easy to bring with me the Slypod on my shooting, especially if I need to take the plane. I will bring directly the Slypod on my baggage. No time to bring with me in the plane.
And, you know, so one thing you can also use this for. You can use that as a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really funny because we were joking around, especially if you flip it around. Like, we were playing around with it, and you can be like this, like an extendable like bat. It just goes.
Exactly. So you'll be robbing.
It is a good weapon. So
yeah. This question is: can you synchronize with Mozart Air 2? Unfortunately, at this point, no. Here's the reason: the payload for the Air 2 is 9 pounds, and that means that the body itself is about 1.2 or 1.5 pounds, which means it's a total about 10 something pounds in total weight. Having that and horizontally with the Slypod Pro may be an issue. What I read before was maximum you can put it together is 9 pound maximum weight horizontally. Vertically, I think it can go up to 30 pounds or need to, if it, you know, depending how heavy it gets. But they always say that, you know, keep it about 9 pounds or less would be better. So yes, this can be used as it's a mirrorless or any type of camera. You have Blackmagic Pocket 4K, GF5. I use it with that, no problem, and so on. And then Monica has explained about the play. I just mentioned earlier. Talk about this earlier, Monica. It does not play on the Slypod E nor the Slypod Pro.
Yeah.
It did play on the Slypod original because that's also the first batch of product that came out, and there was an issue. I had 3 of them here, and I also had originally the beta version of the Slypod Pro 2 years ago, and did not work very well either. So it actually works out better now.
Yeah, it's
As for
true.
as for the battery life, I think I would talk about that earlier. It was 3 hours for the Slypod E, so it's about 3 hours to 4 hours time frame for the Slypod Pro. And again, you can use an external battery pack, portable battery pack, and you can last as long as the battery lasts. So you can keep going forever. Hey, Michael, I know that you have been proud in seeing this. We talked about this earlier too. So I just mentioned that earlier also about what kind of equipment you can use. I have a whole bunch of questions going on here, comments.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. Fabrice said this question: when you use it in full length and even with 2 tripods, is this enough rigid at length? What is the maximum? We talk about maximum payload again.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I used it with 1 tripod, and at full length, it was perfectly fine. So, I mean, I never even used 2 tripods, just because it's kind of a pain to use 2 tripods sometimes to set up things, and it was holding fine. I didn't have any counterweights or anything, and it worked fine for me, with no shake.
Yeah, so definitely that's something I had to think about. And this question I don't have the answer for this one either. Can you create a rotation and save it instead of creating a new one every single time?
Rotation?
I think it's from the app. So basically, is you can go up and down, certain motion up to 5 different settings.
You can put keyframes.
Right, but then you cannot press again play to repeat the whole session. You have to reprogram it. That's a very good question. I'm gonna check with them to see whether they can.
I did it a few times. So for that audio drop, we measured out because we didn't want it to go too far. Otherwise, it would stab through the glass and explode. So we had it at a certain length, and we just press play and then land at that spot, and then we reset it. And I'm not reset it, but like press play again and go back up to the same spot, and then you didn't have to reset the distance each time. You just had to press play each time. So
yeah.
The only one thing I want is to have a loop directly with the application.
Yeah.
We
don't have it. That's right.
Yeah, for like interviews, is that
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right. That's something we can ask for that. Pavel, the Slypod Pro is linked with the Aircross 2. That's already been established a while back with the Slypod and the Slypod E. And the Slypod Pro can do the same thing too. And Bernard, this is yes, it should work. I mean, that's super light, and you're not going to be able to do synchronization, but it definitely can work. Oh, this is a good one. Anybody have an answer for that?
No. We are not that cold here, so I live in California. Yeah. That cold. So.
I don't know. I've used it outdoor in the winter in the snow with the Slypod E, and no problem whatsoever. So I guess it's something that we can try it out down the road when the winter is here.
I mean, yeah. I mean, anything in cold, obviously your battery's gonna last not as long, depending on how cold the weather is. But I mean, it is weatherproof, so it should be fine in the cold weather, right? So.
All right. So. Me Geo Most, if you can send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook using my name, I will see whether I can help you out to connect with them about your Slypod issue. And here's another question. Yeah, I think this is something. I think you were the one to ask that question, Slypod E. The Slypod do not have ping pong mode, which basically go back and forth, but it does have the call. I'm going to use the Slypod E for example. It does have the demo mode. The demo mode basically is you have to press plus and minus button at the same time and then turn it on. And then when it turns blue, that's me to do the job. Come on. It's embarrassing me right now. So it's doing the job by itself. I do not think you can control the speed. I'm going to keep it here in the background so you can just see going up and down. But it can do that because we do that last as a demo mode when we on CES and NAB to demonstrate the product, which then let it run like that forever.
I have a question, Johnny.
Yeah, go ahead.
About the calibration. What
Yeah.
does mean the calibration?
What does it do?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I have no idea. No, calibration is actually to help calibrate the motor inside the Slypod Pro. So
Yeah.
it's not doing the job right now, which doesn't make sense. So it will actually make sure that the precision is perfect. We go up and down. So that's
Okay.
useful for that.
To have the best range.
Yeah, best range and best
Yeah.
control.
Without the camera. Without.
Without the camera, you don't use the camera. You just do it without it.
Okay.
So right now it's doing the loop mode, the demo mode. I want to figure out how to do the right. So yes, guys, again, remember, you can use it with anything. You don't have to ask me, it's compatible with a Mini SC, it's compatible with the camera. It's compatible with anything. It's a slider. It's a monopod. Just think of it that way. Is your regular slider works with your rolling crane or not? Or your camera? Of course it does. So you got to keep thinking about it. For all the other cameras that you want to try, have control with the tripod, go to Gatsen.com. They should have a listing of that eventually to do that. So yes, and yes, Aircross 2 works with the Slypod Pro, Slypod E, Slypod original Slypod, because they already had the synchronization or the linking feature out there. Here's another question from Jeff.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I had a pretty salty wave splash on it, and it was fine. I didn't really throw too much dirt on it. But I mean, I'm pretty rough with my gear, and everything seems to be working pretty fine so far. So.
Oh, cool. So what else you think you can use the Slypod for besides, you know, mono as a monopod and such?
Do you want me to start, or?
Yeah, you start.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know who you're talking to. Sorry. No, it's all good. Yeah, like I said, I mean, for me in product filmmaking, I think that it's like to use it more than just for your camera. I mean, building a product launcher is kind of complicated, and you have to kind of know a little bit about engineering. And having one of these, like for example, like I said, it'd be cool. Like you can pretty much say you want to have like Fruit Loops popping out of or pushing out of your box. Like you can mount it underneath your table. You cut a hole, tape some cardboard on it, and then just raise and push all these Fruit Loops out so it's flowing out of the top of the box. Like that's something that I think would be very unique using it for. Or you want to accurately pull something so it stops at a certain spot in a product, right? Or slide it into frame so it stops perfectly. And I think that's very cool. Like to not only use it for your cameras, like I said, but to use it for opening and closing doors. Perfect. Just like that. Exactly. Yeah. You want it to hand you coffee. Like there's so many different things to do with it, right? So, I mean, I like to look at products not only for one use, but multiple uses, and not for just their intended use, but to have something for, at least for what I do, like that you can have that extends and contracts exactly how far you want it is very unique in that kind of way. So.
All right, what about for you, Karim?
For me, the Slypod is not just a Slypod. I mean, it's not just a slider. For me, this is a great tool. Just like you said, I can use it like a jib, like a slider, like a traveling. I can use in the future the Mozza Aircross 2 to have a great motion control. Every time, just like I said, every time in my job for my music video, I use every time a gimbal. Every time gimbal. But it's time. It's enough for me. I need to change my game plan. This is why the Slypod. I need to find another way to use this Slypod. I need to find some tricks to use it, just not like a regular Slypod, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you, this is a fun question.
Taking the cat from the tree.
Yeah, so here's a question on the screen. Can you work together? Here's the thing you can do with this. And I show that I'm not sure anybody have heard about this, that you can actually
Use two. Make a super.
exactly.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I never even thought about attaching both of them together. I could have got way
Yeah.
higher.
So
That,
yeah,
oh my gosh, that just made me think of something really cool. Imagine starting, like, say you had a scene on top of like a 1-story building, and you start from down below, and it raises up and then goes up, and the people are standing on top of the
Exactly.
something like that. That'd be cool, and like that'd be a very expensive shot to produce any other way. So
do you think you can synchronize both?
you can control all of them here. I remember there was a talk about. I make sure it doesn't hit my fan. You should be able to synchronize them. Suppose they do it and make sure they all work. I can't remember where to do it. Oh, now look at that. Now it's doing the demo mode. It's moving by itself completely.
as long as it doesn't go through your ceiling.
That's fine. It's because when you go down, that was going up. So I got to time correctly. This is weird. I'm gonna put it further away. You can see how it's working. Yeah, it's not gonna hit the ceiling. So now you go. You got two of them connected together. Maybe for this side. This side have no fan. Two of them connected together is to become very much a long jib. And yes, you can actually have 3, 4, 5 of them together. I remember talking to them about synchronize them together on the app. I'm not 100% sure that's possible yet. But
mentioned with the 2 pros that you can use them at the same time on that.
Exactly. Yeah. So Moray drums, definitely you can do demo mode. I just got it working. So I had to do it like crazy to get it working. So, and the light, it turned to white color light, and then it just worked. So just let you know about that. No, Anthony, I don't have a hole in my ceiling. So yeah. All right. So April 13 is the day that they actually gonna release the Kickstarter campaign, and there's gonna be 3 different packages that you can select. The lowest price for the Kickstarter is $4.59. It did hit the ceiling. Sorry. You okay? Oops! It did hit the ceiling. I just hit my fan. What the heck? It was doing fine all the time and just decided not to. Oh, come on.
You can make a lap dance.
Yeah, you could. You just hit me making the head. I'm gonna stop this now. What a dangerous thing it is. So yeah, you can use the weapon. Do not hit somebody with this. There's a head. You can get hurt. Or you let it run it. But you can definitely on the website on Augusta.com you can actually put $1 down, and then you can yeah, it's funny, Anthony. Haha. Nick didn't get hurt. You had to hit him in the arm, I think, or head. Shoulder. Okay, so that's what he said. So definitely something that you can check out the website and then get more information on that. I did actually, a fun thing I did was I did a little short film. I'm going to show that right now just before we do the raffle for the $100 gift voucher that you can use it for the website. So this is a little short film. It's only 3 minutes long. It's maybe boring, but yeah, you can. This is a fun one. You can actually raise your neighbor's glass of wine. Totally can do anything you want. I mean, you can think about what you can use it for. All right, so I'm going to share this video, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. Where are you? Uh-oh. There you go. We can talk through it. You can just only have music.
Yeah, this
Cool.
is nice.
Like the VFX in it is really cool.
Yep.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I muted myself. Duh. Boy, I have lots of product today. So yeah, we actually use the Slypod Pro with the Aircross 2 and then synchronize them together and then link them together and do all the different things you see going up and down and look around and stuff. So that's not going to be an issue to do. Probably to do. No, the guy, the black guy who came out of the house took it because somebody left it in his house. So yeah, so that's not. There's nothing to do with racial thing. It just happened to be Sean is my DP, and so he's actually taking the gear and use it for stuff. And actually, he's watching this too. So, any other comment question about the Slypod Pro? Again, it's still running in the background as a demo mode, and it's doing forever. So you have an external power plug into it. Then you can just keep it going. What other gimbal can you pair with? Aircross 2 is the only one you can connect with to do the synchronization, but you can use it with any other gimbals. You just are going to do it. You're going to think outside the box to make it work. So without, I guess there's only comments about the show film. the show film is meant to be funny, so that's our idea. And
Sci-fi.
Showcase of the whole funny thing about the Slypod and for the future. Yeah, I tried to pick into the house. It's still the somebody's house. That didn't work. Anyway, any other comment question you guys have? What would you guys recommend? What would be the tip for people using the Slypod Pro? Karim and then Austen.
You can repeat the question, excuse me?
Sure. What tip do you have for people for using Slypod?
For everybody, I think, but it's dependently how you will use the Slypod. If you need some creative footage, you can use it.
Yeah.
I think filmmaker, music video director, like Austen did, top shot. This is right.
Tabletop, yeah.
Tabletops, yeah. Just like this, I think it's okay. It will depend how you will use the Slypod.
Great, Austen.
Yeah, I mean, I just would think I don't limit yourself with it because I mean it's very small and strong and powerful. So like you can get access in very unique angles that you can't do with sliders. So I mean, I wouldn't even think of it as a slider. I think of it what else it can do besides what sliders can to really get your unique shots with it. I mean, it's a great. I mean, the price of it for an introduction, kind of like stepping in and having your first stabilized like slider type of equipment. I think that's an amazing product for that, and like you can get very unique angles and do a lot of cool things with it. So just think outside the box, really.
Yeah, totally. This is good. This is a good comment. In the music video, you're having a light on the Slypod going up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very creative. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. This is actually a really, really good question. Does it have the same quick release head on the original Slypod? No. It's very different. It actually is this one here. This is the Slypod from Slypod Pro, and the original Slypod used. They use this kind of system, so you cannot unscrew. You can use it here, but you gotta have the. You're not gonna. If you actually, yeah, you may be able to use it. Original one. Yeah, you can. I'm sorry. Yes, you can. You can just unscrew that from this part and use it on the Slypod Pro. But the Slypod Pro already comes with it, so you don't need to worry about getting that. Although I do like this kind of mechanism, but I'm not sure why they changed that. I was another question here about when's shipping going on. So the Kickstarter started April 13th, and so expecting to ship maybe They say maybe late May, beginning June. So again, you had to wait for the Kickstarter to end in May 13, and they had to do all the processing. So the end of May, beginning of June, they probably ship it out. So but that's what expected right now at this point. Let's see, better to. Yep, definitely gonna. This is a good one. So eventually, we had to go out and do some amazing footage with a Slypod Pro. You can do a lot of amazing footage. You just have to think outside the box. And Karim, we also talked about earlier, the total vertical or horizontal maximum payload is probably about 9 pounds. If you do anything heavier than that, like Austen said earlier, it may be hard. It may not go work 100%. So you can try as much as you can and see how far you can go with it. All right, so I think that's it. We are at the end. Oh, sorry, it's actually in the end. We're actually going to give away 2 $100 voucher. So here's how it works. We're going to ask Karim to ask a question. The first person answer the question correctly wins the first voucher. And then we're going to ask Austen to ask the second question. And the first person answered wins the second $100 voucher. Both vouchers can be used only at Gutson.com. Karim, you ready?
Not yet. Give me 1 minute. The question it's about the Slypod or
Slypod Pro. It's about the Slypod Pro.
Do you want me to go first?
All right, you go first since you had to wait.
All right. What is the Slypod Pro? What's the material that it's made out of?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, who answered that first wins. So whatever we see here. Uh-oh. No answer yet? Come on.
Okay. Proper.
We got it.
Proper.
We got it. There's one person got it first. Wow. But not you. Sorry. I thought there's another one. No, yeah, it's him. Actually, it's him. He's the first one.
There you go. Congratulations.
Wait a second. I thought there's more.
Okay, I got my question.
Okay, hold on. So proper 403. You would send me a DM from Instagram or YouTube or Facebook using next to my name here, Johnny KU at MDI Film. Then this way, I'll connect you with Gutson. You can get your voucher toward anything you want to get from Gutson.com website. And then, all right, Karim, you have your question. Go ahead.
Listen. The Slypod, is it waterproof?
That's an easy one.
Are you sure? You said yes, you said no, but oh, Karim.
Before Karim, there's a one saying no. So what's the answer, Karim?
It's Karim. Is right?
What's the real answer? Is it waterproof?
Yeah, it's waterproof. This is my question.
No,
the Slypod, I said no, but
he's the first. She's the first one. Can you see the list? Yeah, she is the first one on my list here. So Azel, congratulations, you got that. So again, like I said earlier, send me a DM or under next to my name you see on the screen, Johnny K Wu, and then there's @MDI Film. Send me a message after this, and then I will connect you. Congratulations, both of you guys.
Thank you very much.
And again, I appreciate Austen and Karim to be here with me. Thank you guys for being here. One from California, the other from France, right? France.
Thank you very much. It's late in France.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night and a good day, everybody.
Bye. Have a good day.